Hello, good morning, and welcome to another session of Communicative English. Today, we are going to see some techniques of communicative English, some of the factors that we need to keep in mind in order to be fluent in our speaking. So, as an introduction, I will be introducing about the linguistic skills which we already know. Some of you may be familiar, but it's always good to refresh our memory. As you know, speaking is like any other skill which we need to practice in order to make it perfect. Like music or dance or swimming or driving, any skill we need practice. Only then we can become perfect in that particular skill. The same way, language also needs practice. So the linguistic skills like listening, speaking, reading and writing, they all need constant practice. So today we will be focusing mainly on listening and speaking. We know that all these four linguistic skills are interrelated. If you look at closely at these four skills, you find that we have got two inputs and two outputs. The inputs are listening and reading, and the outputs are speaking and writing. So our output will definitely depend on our input. So the more we listen, the better we can speak. The more we read, the better we can write. That's why these four skills are related. Now coming to listening, we know this is the first skill which we start as soon as we are born or even before that, which doesn't need much practice because it comes naturally to us. So first we listen to what others speak, and then we try to reproduce that or imitate what we hear. So listening is the first linguistic skill, and we cannot speak unless we listen. So it is important that we listen to good English or standard English. So we need to surround ourselves with good English. Now how can we do that? We know that there are different sources of listening. Today we have a lot of sources like the social media. So we can easily take recourse to all these sources. There are lots of news channels like the BBC or other English news channels, and we have got audio books which we can download or listen to. Then we have got TED Talks, TED Talks, which you can listen to in YouTube. Then we have music or films which we can listen. So the more we listen to this kind of audio, we are able to improve our speaking. So I would like to reiterate here a very important point, that is language, any language for that matter, is nothing but mimicry. We only imitate what we hear. We imitate what other people speak. So we don't actually create anything new. In language we only try to imitate what we hear from other people. So that is about the four linguistic skills, how they are important, how they are interrelated, and how we need to improve our listening in order to improve our speaking. Now we come to the next point, that is fluency. Fluency means the flow of our language. So when we speak, what we speak is actually a chain of our thought. It has to flow from our mind, and if this has to happen, we need to have the source within our mind. Only then this flow of thought can happen without any hindrance. So coming to the mechanics of this language or speaking, we need to focus on three things, that is vocabulary, grammar and pronunciation. So vocabulary means list of words. So unless we have a stock of words, vocabulary with us, we will not be able to communicate. That's why we need to learn more and more words, add more words to our vocabulary. So try to learn a few words every day. That will definitely help you. I suggest that you should have a dictionary with you, so that you can refer to the dictionary whenever you have doubt or whenever you want to add to your vocabulary. Next is grammar. We know that grammar we have to learn as we go along, because that is a rule of language. Unless you know certain, at least the basic grammar, you will not be able to construct correct sentences. So we should pay attention to grammar as well. Then coming to pronunciation, it also plays a very important role in our speaking. As long as we are here in Kerala, of course, we don't have to worry about pronunciation. But the moment we go out of Kerala or out of our country, that is going to play a major role in our communication, because our accent may not be easily understood by other people. That's why we should try to get the correct pronunciation of every word. Only then we will be able to communicate effectively. Next point is practice. Just like any skill, we need to practice speaking. Unless we listen to something and then practice what we hear, then it is not going to help. Now, it's not necessary that we should have some people around us to practice speaking. We can always speak to ourselves, talking to oneself. That is very, very important. Try to practice alone. Close your doors and then stay inside your room and then talk loudly to yourself. That will give you a lot of confidence in speaking. Now coming to confidence, which is a very important factor in speaking, because we know that we usually have a lot of inhibitions, fear to speak out. But we know, unless we jump into the pond or water, we are not able to swim. We cannot stay on the shore and then look at the water and then think about swimming. It will not help. So unless we forget ourselves, our worries, our tensions and fears, and jump into the water, we are not going to learn swimming. So in the same way, speaking also, we need to shed our fears. Just start speaking. That's the only way. And another important factor is the thinking language. So whenever you see an object, that word will come to your mind. So when you are thinking in Malayalam, you look at an object, that word in Malayalam will come to your mind. But you cannot think in Malayalam and then try to speak in English. That will not go very smoothly. If you need to speak in English, definitely we have to start thinking in English. So you should make a conscious effort to think in English. that will definitely go a long way in speaking English. So please start thinking in English. Only then you can speak fluently in English. Next point I would like to mention here is about linking. Now, what is linking? Now, if you happen to listen to the foreigners, at least the native speakers, maybe the people from England or America, we find it very difficult to follow what they speak. Now, the reason is very simple. They don't pronounce every word that they speak. That means they swallow some words, and that is going to create some problem for us. Now, why do they swallow these words? See, the reason or secret behind this swallowing of words is called linking. Now, what is linking? We will see with some examples. Actually, linking is nothing but shortening of words. Some of the words are shortened. That's why it becomes difficult for us to follow their conversation. For example, we say I am fine, but when the native speakers say the same thing, they say I'm fine. So the I suddenly disappears. Or come here, they don't say that, they say come here. So the H is silent there. Or I have been there, they would say I've been there. So the H and A missing there. Or what are you doing now? They would say what you doing now. So the R has just gone. Or give me a cup of tea, they would say give me a cup of tea. So how short it has become. Give me has become gimme, and cup of tea has become cup of tea. So the sentence has become very short. Or I didn't see it, they would say I didn't see it. Didn't becomes didn't. Next we have got two words, fried egg, but when they speak it becomes fried egg. Or I am a bit tired, it will become I am a bit tired. Bit tired becomes bit tired. So when you have two T's, that is one at the end of the word and then another at the beginning of the word, so these two T's become one. That is shortening here. Bit tired becomes bit tired. Same way, we have a lot to do, that becomes we have a lot to do. Again, two T's coming together, one T disappears. Or in the word postman, here again the T is not pronounced, it is postman. Another word is longest day. So here you have got T and D coming together. Again the T is silent, we say longest day. So these are some of the techniques where they shorten the words, or even when two words come together, maybe one syllable disappears. So this technique is called linking, and we should learn this technique of linking. Only then our speaking can become fluent, and then we will be able to even follow what these native speakers speak. So I think once you acquire this linking technique, we can really improve our speaking and also our ability to understand the native speakers. Now move on to small talk. Now, what is small talk? Small talk means not very serious talk, casual talk. Now, when we meet maybe strangers or maybe our some of our relatives, not very close people, so we need some topics to talk on. So usually we find a few topics here which I have listed here. These are the common topics that we talk about. So the topics are work, talks related to our work, our job, and so on. Then about life in general, how life is going on, or about food, what kind of food you have, what you had for breakfast, or whatever. Then another topic could be the weather. What is the weather of late? Then another topic could be travel. So we will see some of the questions we could ask when we see people or when we meet people, and how can we ask questions related to these topics. So we will take one by one. First we move on to work. So some of the questions that we could ask could be, what do you do? That means, what is your occupation or what is your job? What motivated you to become a doctor or engineer, chef, or IT job? It could be any job. So what is the motivation? What prompted you to take up that particular job? What was your first job? Maybe people move from one job to another. What do you love about your job? What actually attracted you towards this particular job? What do you really enjoy doing? Is this your dream job? So many people have a lot of dreams about their job, but it is not necessary that they should get that particular job. Very often we get satisfied with what we have rather than hunting for our dream job. Next, coming on to the next topic, which is very interesting. I think you already had a communicative class on this topic, food. But here I will be asking you to focus on certain questions, not about the vocabulary as such. Here also you will be learning about a few words and the pronunciation. These words may be familiar to you, but the way it is pronounced is going to be rather different. Let's see. What is your favorite food? So the word favorite, not favorite, it is favorite. Favorite. Do you know any good restaurant around here? So now look at that word. We say usually a restaurant, but in English it is restaurant. Please listen to that word once again. Restaurant, not restaurant. Next, have you tried the new Chinese restaurant in the town? Do you like Chinese food? Are you a vegan or non-vegan? See the word WEGAN. It is not vegan, it is vegan. Vegan means short form for vegetarian. So this could be some of the questions we can ask regarding food. Moving on to the next topic, that is life. About life in general. These are some of the questions that we could ask. So where do you live? Or where do you live before this? Now there's a Small correction here. The way we pronounce live, it is not leave, it is live. It is short. Where do you live? If you say leave, it will be leave, leave. So please pay attention to that pronunciation. Where do you live? Where did you grow up? Which is your native place? Did you hear about that particular accident or any incident that happened? What do you like to do in your spare time? Like the hobby. Some people enjoy certain hobbies like reading or music. Next topic is weather. See, when you have a scarcity of topic, usually we catch hold of weather. Some of the sentences or questions that you could use. It's a beautiful day today, isn't it? Or it's so humid today and I'm sweating a lot. Can you believe all the rain we have been having lately? So recently we are having a lot of rain. It's pouring out there. How did you get here? So when you have a heavy rain, we can say pouring. The weather has become highly unpredictable of late. Look at the word unpredictable, which we cannot foresee, which we cannot predict. That means tomorrow's weather cannot be predicted. It could be rainy or sunny. Next we come to travel. Some of the questions you could have asked about travel. Are you planning to get away for the holidays? Get away means like going away, like escaping from your place. I am back from Hong Kong. Have you ever been there? Or instead of Hong Kong, you could use any other place. What places are on your bucket list? Now here we have got a new phrase, bucket list. Now what is bucket list? So the meaning of the word bucket list is your wish list. You know, we all like to accomplish certain things in our life. What do you like to do? Maybe we make a list of places that you would like to visit before we die. So such a list is called a bucket list. So what places are on your bucket list means what are the places you would like to visit. Which is your favorite holiday destination where you would like to go for your holidays? So this could be some of the questions regarding travel. Now we come to more sentences. It is good to learn how to construct sentences. You know, there are thousands of sentence constructions, but at least some of the basic constructions we should be familiar with. So here I would like to introduce a few model sentences which we can go through. Some of them are questions, some of them are statements. So let's see. First one, what if you miss the train? What if? That is the possibility if something happens. It's no use talking to him. So it's no use means you are wasting your time. You will not have any result. That's the meaning of it's no use. There is no way he will agree to your idea. There's no way means there's no possibility. It is almost impossible. There's nothing we can do now. More or less same idea. That means nothing can be done now. Please make sure that you close the gate. You are requesting or asking somebody to do it. Please make sure that you do. It takes 1 hour to get there. So it takes, that means we will need 1 hour. There's something wrong with this mobile. So sentence starting with there is. Of course, usually we avoid this kind of sentence in formal writing. Of course, this period we are not dealing with formal writing or academic writing. This is spoken English. So here we are allowed to make sentences starting with there is. What are the chances of getting the vaccine? Here chances means possibilities. How come your parents are not concerned about it? How come? Another usage. How come means how is it? That means you don't understand. You are surprised. So in such cases we use how come. So these are some of the questions or statements we can use. We are going to see more such sentences. How about? We can start a sentence with how about. How about exploring new places? So you are asking another person. Maybe you want to find his opinion, whether he is interested in that. So we ask how about? How about going for a movie? Trying to find the view of the other person. It's time to decide what to do. Sentence starting with it is, it's shortened. It's time. It's going to be easy. Not very difficult, that's meaning. If I were you, I would take a vacation. If I were you. Here it's kind of imagination. So it means that somebody did not do something. So in such a situation we say if I were you, if I were in your place, I would take a vacation. Do you want me to take you out? Again asking another person's view or his opinion. Do you want me to do it? Let's go for a walk. So let us, again it's kind of suggestion, kind of almost persuading the other person. Let's go for a walk, come on. Another way of asking the same question is, shall we go for a walk, which is more polite. Let's go means you are not asking permission, you are asking the other person to go with you. So shall we is more polite. According to the reports, we are in grave danger. According to, that means you have seen some newspaper reports. So as per those reports, we are in grave danger, especially in our present situation regarding corona. We know we are in grave danger. Now we move on to the last part of this session. We are going to see some vocabulary. Actually, I have used the word glossary. Now, what is the difference between a glossary and vocabulary? Vocabulary means a list of words, any list of words. But glossary is concerning a particular topic or subject. So here the words are related to corona. That's why I have used the word glossary. First word is antibody. Antibody is a blood protein produced to counter attack a disease. So usually you are infected with a disease, then your body will produce antibody to attack the particular disease. So it seems when many of the people are tested for COVID, around 30 to 40% of the people are found to have developed antibodies in their bodies. Now asymptomatic means having no symptoms. So you know that something very strange about COVID or corona is that many people have this disease but they don't have any symptoms. That's why it is called asymptomatic. Next word is community spread. Community spread means a large number of people are infected. Next one, you already know, containment zone. That means a restricted area where people are not allowed to enter or exit. It is mainly to control or to contain the spread of a virus. Then you have short form CDC. It stands for Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Another similar short form is CFLTC, which stands for COVID First Line Treatment Center. Then the word epidemic or pandemic, which stands for widespread occurrence of a disease. Maybe a larger area is spread, maybe one state or a country or the whole world. So we know that COVID has spread all over the world. That's why it is called epidemic or pandemic. Next word is incubation. Incubation is a period between infection and the appearance of the first symptoms. So we know that once people are infected with this virus, the symptoms will not be seen immediately. It will take around 10 to 14 days for the virus to incubate, to multiply in our body. Only after that, after the incubation period, the symptoms will be shown. Another word is isolation. We all know the meaning. It is to separate the infected patient from the rest. Then PPE kit stands for personal protective equipment. Then we have two tests related to COVID. One is RT-PCR, which stands for reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction. That's the full form of RT-PCR. Another test is RAT, which stands for rapid antigen test. And then vaccination, it's a common word. It means to administer or to give vaccine in order to immunize that person. Then the common word which you already know, quarantine, means to isolate. So with that we come to the end of this communicative English session. Thank you. Bye.